Today I'm going to talk to you in two parts about a couple different subjects. Number one, I would like to discuss an upcoming change that has been proposed by Fatshark to Havoc's rank up and rank down system. After that, I think I'll just talk about my feelings about Havoc in general as a game mode, so stick around.
Hold on. Okay.
Around for that if you want to know. Alright, so straight to the meat of the issue then. The main change that is going on with Havoc that I have an issue with in the rank up and rank down system is the way they are changing how you lose tries for Havoc games. It's honestly a very simple system right now. If you are the person who hosts, you go up if you win and you go down, or at least lose a try if you lose. The other players get nothing. I don't think that's a great system, so what's been proposed to be changed is that all players go up if the players clear the mission that they've queued as a group, and all players will go down a try and possibly a rank if they lose. What this effectively means is that a party of 4 people who are playing at rank 40, Havoc rank 40, would normally have 12 tries, and that 12 tries is being reduced to 3 tries. This is a huge mistake. I really don't like this change, and I'm just going to be super upfront about it. I think this will basically kill Darktide for me if this change goes live. I'll probably make some videos about Ogren and
To be honest, Havoc just killed the Darktide in general, so that change is it's gonna make it even more obvious. To be honest, I don't like Havoc. It's bullshit. It's cheap. Oh yeah, there are 3,000 gunners shooting non-stop at you, and if you peek for 1 millisecond, you're dead. Wow, cool. Very cool gameplay. Well.
And then I'll go do something else, because I don't know how I'm supposed to stay engaged when the game actively is preventing me from playing the game mode that I'm most interested in playing. I am not interested in playing Havoc 35, and I am not interested in playing Havoc 35 with optimized, hyper great, gold toughness spam gear. That's not how I play the game. It's not what's fun for me. If that's what's being forced on me, then I'm going to leave. Now, I'm never one for just spewing vitriol. I would like to provide some...
I will be serious. I want this change to happen. I want this change to happen. Because this game mode deserves to die. So I want it to happen. Nothing against Reginald, but yeah. This game mode is bullshit, it's trash, cheap. So I want this change to happen, so people will stop playing it. It's good. That's what I want.
Constructive ideas. Here is a vision for what I would like to see Havoc be like. This is a graph. The basic gist of this graph, if you're not looking at the screen, is it has sort of gradiated plateaus. So from level like 0 to 10 of Havoc, you're going to get sort of a steady increase in difficulty until you hit level 10. Then there's going to be a spike, and then you're going to be from 11 to 20, and there's going to be a gradation of increasing difficulty until you get to 20. Then there'll be a spike, and then at 21 to 30, there's going to be sort of increasing difficulty until you hit 30, and then there'll be a spike in difficulty going from 31 to 39, and that difficulty chain will be sort of the maximal difficulty for normal Havoc, quote unquote. And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to see another spike in difficulty when you get up to level 40. My dream for Havoc 40 is that the win rate is incredibly low, and it's basically insane to play, and people who can actually beat it by any means at all deserve plenty of props. Right now,
how would that be, honestly? How Havoc 40 will be harder? Because right now, just Bubble, Dueling Sword, Relic, and Shout, and Flamers, and everything else. That's all you need. Because Havoc itself, it's not hard. It's just bullshit. So I don't know how... I mean, they would have to revamp completely Havoc to make it actually hard and make the way that you want, that you dream of to be. Because right now, this is not it. I don't think that this is it.
Havoc 40 is easy enough that a large number of players are able to cheese it, and people like me are able to get 3 wins in a row using completely off-meta gear.
Yeah, man, this is not the majority of people playing. I'm gonna be real. This is not the majority of people playing. You and Dorn, for example, are hardcores. So, of course, people will try to make it easier. I mean, what can you do? The game is cheap. Of course, you want to make it easier for you.
With completely terrible loadouts, I mean, you name it, we've tried it, and we've gotten wins in a row and like whatever. I'm not saying it's super easy, but I am saying we can do it consistently if we want to and aren't screwing around. So I'd like it to be a lot harder than that. The caveat here...
Yeah, you guys are fucking demons. What do you expect, honestly? You guys are fucking demons. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could just solo a fucking Havoc 40 with Devil Claw Mark 1 and Shred Auto Pistol. I mean, sure, you're a fucking demon. I'm not. And the majority of players isn't too.
Here is that once we hit Havoc 40, I don't want there to be any D-ranking. None at all. I want Havoc 40. When you beat Havoc 39, you rank up to Havoc 40. That would be my dream. And then from there, you are locked at Havoc 40. You can play Havoc 40 as much as you want, or you can manually D-rank to any rank you want. This design is centered on the systems that are currently in place and will prevent any additional dev time, for the most part, required to make these changes, right? You can just say Havoc 40 is locked, you're locked in at Havoc 40, you're done, right? There'll be a little tweaking in the back end, I'm sure, but I don't know how this works. I'm just talking about what makes sense within the domain of the systems that already exist, right? The D-rank mechanic is already there. And then as long as no other changes are made with the D-rank mechanic, you can go D-rank down to 35 and you'll start ranking up as you win all the way back up to 39, right? So if you want to play in the 35 to 39 range or whatever that is for difficulty for you, you can do that. If you don't want to play in 40, that should be no problem. But if I want to bang my head against the nearly impossible 40 for the rest of my life, I should be able to do that without D-ranking. So that's my idealized vision of Havoc 40. So let me just reiterate my point as concisely as possible. Preceding this summary was a vision for how I would like Havoc 40 to play, including locking at 40 to allow infinite retries on a really difficult Havoc 40 mission. If this change that is proposed to ranking up and ranking down is published as is with only 3 tries per player party on a Havoc 40, I'm just going to quit the game. There's nothing for me to do. And I'm going to explain why in the next section, which will be
based. Actually based.
A bit less edited than this section. I think I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip here a little bit, speak from the heart, and talk. So if that's not your thing, I'm done. If that's your thing and you wanted to sort of hear me talk about and pontificate about Havoc and what I like and don't like about it, cool. I'm not going to trim this down nearly as much as I normally do. It's going to be less concise. So put on some headphones, do some dishes or whatever, and just listen to me ramble. I like Havoc 40. I like Havoc 40 a lot. I like Havoc, like high Havoc 38 plus or whatever. I think it's really fun. There are problems with the system as it is released. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Party Finder only mechanic. A quick play mechanic might be nice to tack onto it, but
yeah, Party Finder is just boring. Like, Fat Shark spend their fucking time on a useless feature that at this point of the game is just useless and forces you to use it. Great job, Fat Shark.
I get it. It's never been a big impediment to me enjoying the game, and I'm kind of the target market, right? So whatever. I can play with the people that I play with who are all really good at the game, and we can have a lot of fun. I do not love all of the modifiers that are chosen all the time, and I'm not the hugest fan of enemies becoming bullet sponges. You can only do so much to increase difficulty without increasing the health pools of the enemies, but there is an extent to which I don't like all the changing breakpoints, minimizing the amount of weapon diversity you're really allowed to play with without kind of just picking garbage and just trying to go for it as a challenge run. Which I do plenty of that.
Yeah. That's the thing about Havoc. You're forced to play a specific build and specific weapons if you want to kill stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna stay there forever.
Now, here's the thing about Havoc. A lot of people don't like Havoc, and just like on a base level, like they don't find the game very engaging, and like they want to be able to choose their maps, they want to be able to choose their modifiers, all that kind of stuff. I totally understand that, but I've never engaged with the game that way personally. Like, I don't care what map it is unless the map doesn't have good spawn rates and is not hard enough. I don't really care what the modifiers are as long as they're not the ones that I don't like, which is specifically, I don't like the blight spreads one, which turns the floor into lava, because it's unengaging, and I don't really like the pox gas one either for the same reason. Things that restrict my mobility and movement and prevent me from engaging with a progression on the map, and I just have to sort of stand around, feel really negative to me. So I'm not a huge fan of those mechanics, but for the most part, I'm fine with what they've done with Havoc. It's fine, and I'm just going to queue it up and I'm going to play, and as soon as I'm in the game, enjoying the game, what map I'm on, what enemy modifiers there are, really just stop mattering, and I'm just trying to win and play, and I'm engaged. So that's how I've always engaged with the game, even back in Oryx, and so those complaints, never a big deal for me. Whatever. I know I'm in the minority on that, and what am I supposed to say? I like what I like, okay? I will say...
Sure. You like what you like. I don't like it at all. As I said before, it's cheap. Gameplay is just... Yeah, if you do not have Bubble, Relic, or anything else to make it easier, just stop the guys shooting at you. You just gotta stand there and, I don't know, enjoy the view or something. Or you can just kill yourself. So, yeah, I mean, if you like it, sure. But I don't think this is any kind of difficult. Especially, oh yeah, let's not forget they introduced this new mode with a game that has issues like silent specials. Wow. And the chance of you getting fucked by a silent special in Havoc is way higher than normal. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong though. I might be like the unluckiest guy alive, which could be. But yeah, I don't know what they were thinking on doing this fucking Havoc thing. But yeah.
Say, however, that Havoc was extremely necessary to retain me. I am definitely a very highly skilled player in this game. This isn't me like bragging. I'm talking about it from an objective perspective. I have done a ton of very difficult challenge runs in this game. I am still not as good as some players. There are players who are better than me, objectively speaking, and I still have things I'm working on to get better at the game. But just as a point of comparison, I am now in the top 5% of the player base, which contains around like 300,000 concurrent active players, which is a lot larger than this game, which is Marvel Rivals. I am in a competitive game that's PvP, and I am playing in a very high tier in that game. Not like World's Best or anything, but definitely very high tier. Okay? So I'm at least that good. And I'm bringing that to Darktide, and I think I'm better at Darktide than I am at Marvel Rivals. So I think it's fair to say, especially since I'm playing Marvel Rivals with like Mr. Fantastic, actually, maybe that makes it more impressive that I am in the top 5% on Mr. Fantastic. That's actually perhaps, considering he's considered.
No, I don't know anything
bad.
about
He's
Marvel
like the
Rivals,
old chain axe of weaponry. He's like almost good, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and the point I'm trying to make here is, I have a second point of comparison to say, hey, look, I'm playing Darktide in like the top 1% or better, maybe the top like marginal percentage, like 0.01% or whatever, and I am not the only player that's playing at that level. There's a lot of names that I know of people who play at this level and who engage in the game that the way that I engage in the game, right? Mostly I'm trying to have fun and engaging challenges and interactions with the game, okay? I'm not trying to be the best in the world and always win and maximize my win rate. I'm trying to have like engaging and entertaining challenges to explore the dynamics and the puzzles of the game. And I'm trying to play with different toys that I like and just keep it fresh and fun. So that's how I engage with the game. But I'm still in that really high category of player who's playing at a really high level. And so for me, Havoc is the only way I can actually be engaged in the game. Auric Maelstrom is still a hard difficulty for most players. I know everybody sort of has this habit of talking about Auric Maelstrom like it's easy. And that's because a lot of us have soloed Auric Maelstrom at this point. I have. It's not like it's easy. I don't think it's easy, but if I play well and I'm focused and I'm playing to a nearly perfect degree and I don't make any mistakes around disablers, then I will clear it.
Yes.
So when I go back to an Auric Maelstrom with a squad of people who are all capable of doing that, even if they're not paying attention right now, like that game is a sleeper for us at that point. Auric Maelstrom is just like, I'm tired, I'm bored. Like I'm literally playing this game with my eyes almost closed. I can literally clear an Auric Maelstrom in duos, in solos. So like when I'm screwing around, like it might be the case that I'll die because I didn't pay attention to a disabler enough because I had turned my brain off, right? And
Or because there was a silent trapper. Maybe.
and that risk is always there, even in Malice.
Yes.
But if I die, then the other 3 players who are just as good as me could easily get me. There's really no risk, right? And if 3 other players are down, one of those players can solo an Auric Maelstrom, so they'll probably just get all 3 of us and win the game, right? It's like it'll be cool to watch. Everybody agrees that it's impressive to solo.
As long there's no bullshit happening. Just to make clear.
Like Auric Maelstrom, even to this day,
But
even
yeah.
for Havoc players.
True.
But let's not pretend it can't be done at this point. Lots of people have done it, and so when you're playing with those people, it's like, okay, there's no risk here. I'm not being challenged, I'm just sort of going through the motions. So for me, Havoc is the challenge range of difficulty content. And I've done it a bunch of different ways, and I still find it hard even when I know I can breeze through it in 16 minutes if I play a certain way. And even if I know that if I take some meta loadout, I can make it a lot easier. Like, it's a hard enough difficulty that I'm engaged, that I feel like there's a real risk of losing. And I feel like I want to try to play.
Yeah, because the only risk you have is just, yeah, there's one random shooter at somewhere, and then you're not a zealot, or you are a zealot, you do not have until death, so you're dead. That's the risk.
Play hard with whatever loadout I've picked, right? I might pick a suboptimal loadout to make it fun for myself, but I know I'm going to be working for it to win, right? And this is true, I think, for a lot of the player base, right? Like I play Havocs the way people are used to play Oryx. Like they'll pick whatever loadout they want, they'll have fun, but they'll feel challenged and engaged. Well, that's how Havoc feels to me. It's actually not hard enough right now because I'm not like being tested hard enough. I want it to be sweatier. I know not everybody feels that way. I get it, like really too. But
God damn, dude. Holy shit. You wanna make this shit even harder? How? Increasing the fire rate of gunners? Like only gunners run? No ammo? Or how would you make Havoc harder? I mean, it's not hard now. It never was. Because it's just cheap. It's what the people call artificial difficulty. That's it. God damn.
I feel that way. This game mode is for me, right? It's
Sure.
not literally my game mode, but like there's a bunch of players that are like me that enjoy this mode because it is exactly what I'm describing.
I don't know how you guys do though. I mean, I play a few like Havocs through the week. I mean, it's cool and all, but like I feel so fucking, I don't know how to describe this. Like I feel forced to play in a certain build. I mean, sure, I'm not playing with tryhards. I mean, alright, but like, well, what do you expect?
It's for the people who are in the top 1% of the game. Well, I am, and I'm one of the largest surviving YouTubers for this game as well. Just because I love it, I think it's fun, and it's really just that simple.
It's literally impossible to make the game truly hard with our level of mobility without it being cheap. Yeah. I do agree. It makes sense. So, to make it actually hard, they would like to make a Darktide 2, I would say. Revamp the whole game in the next installment. Maybe that's how they can do it that way. Or I don't know. I have this idea in mind. I might be wrong here, but I had the idea in mind that a cover system in Havoc mode would do wonders. Like, would be pretty cool, and would be very interesting, less annoying to deal with, because at least you could take cover. In a cover system, you can take cover and stay there and think about your next move. other than just using Bubble and Relic and Shout and everything else. Well, I might be wrong here, but yeah.
Well, that's how I roll. I might be repeating myself too much there. I did warn you this would be the more rambly section, so at least if you're entertained, then I'm doing a decent job. Any case, the summary of all that is like I play at a very high level, and this game is Havoc is for people at a high level. So I want it to be really hard, and I want it to be really engaging, and I want it to be challenging. I want the game mode to be fun and interesting. But, and key thing here, my main objective, as I mentioned earlier, would be that I get to play Havoc 40 over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, the way I would play Auric Maelstrom. I'm not interested in playing Havoc 35. I want to play Havoc 40, and I want Havoc 40 to be harder, and I want to die super hard in my games. That's where I'm going to derive the most entertainment, is banging my head against a...
God damn. He wants to die even hard. Holy shit. God damn, dude. Are you a masochist? Like, come on. Holy. I mean, if you want to die even harder, play with randoms. That's the way. Play a 40 with randoms. Or like take like none of these high level skill players actually. And yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun in there.
Really nearly impossible wall until I get the win. And that satisfaction of being in the micro percentage of people who've been able to even beat it, let alone beat it, with goofy gear, is kind of what I want, right? And I want to be able to just keep doing it. I want to invite people who aren't very good at it to do it too, and see if we can get them through it in a way that's fun and interesting and not totally broken, right? That would be my ideal.
Well, so they gotta revamp the whole Havoc then, to be honest. Like, if you want to be that way and still people have fun in it, they have to revamp the whole thing. Because right now it's not it. It's not fun at all. Like, yeah, very fun. You do everything right. There's one shooter that you didn't see, and you died. Very fun, entertaining.
So, yeah.
Reginald gets carried by Immerse Combine and just thought, but considers him in the top 0.1 of players. And players at the most. That's the players that does people. I'm not gonna read that, but let's keep it indoors. I don't know, honestly. Yeah. So if it's that way, well, this explains a lot why he finds it easier. Sure. Whatever, dude.
Yes, I like Havoc. Yes, I even love Havoc. But I do have that major problem. That's what the problem I'm describing earlier is. It's like, hey, this game was for me, and you're taking it away from me and making it pointless to have. Right? Not a good idea.
Best idea. I wanna see. I'm sorry, Reginald. But I actually wanna see this change coming. I don't want them to change this. Because people need to realize how shit is this game mode. I'm sorry, it is. It is shit. It's not fun when you have enemies phasing into each other, audio problems, what more? Server instability. Well, I just described a few here. So, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some of the problems that Havoc has. I think the Party Finder tool is a bit insufficient. You really need to be able to see people's true level without a mod. Can we just make that a thing already? Like, it needs to be there.
Like, indeed, that is true. Because if you wanna win, you wanna see their levels. and also their builds. So yeah.
Another thing that would be really nice is being able to see people's like chosen loadouts without a mod.
Yeah.
The Party Finder, if it's going to be a tool for selecting or not selecting players, needs to show you more than their class.
Yeah.
And whether or not they've hit like level 30 or whatever, right? I need to be able to see
True.
what their actual level is, what their actual level of experience is. I need to be able to filter on some criteria against people. I don't personally do that much filtering when I let people in, but I'm going to do a little. Like, I'm not going to let somebody into my lobby if they're a level 23 actual, and they have, you know, no Havoc clearance level, whatever. Like, I'm going to be playing a Havoc 40. They're going to get folded, and I don't feel like running a trio. I want to run a quad, and that's why I'm here. So those things need to be fixed with the Party Finder. Okay, Party Finder. I would also like there to be some sort of quick play mechanic. I know that Havoc 40 is really, really hard, but if people want to quick play into like lower Havocs...
Wait. You just said it's easy. No offense to you, but you just said it's easy. So now it's hard? Or am I getting things wrong here? Please correct me in the chat. The audio in this game is so cramped that they could fix the problem of audio not playing at all and it would still suck. Yes. Hard to hear the crusher wheeling up and overhead behind you if there's 5 specials near you too. Yeah. Especially when there are ragers and just roar and screaming. Yeah, the fact that there is no audio accessibility options in vanilla is insane. I would say this tells a lot about Fat Shark. Yeah, it's easy, but he stopped one person playing it. Yeah, but he said right now it's hard. I'm just confused. It's easy, but it's hard. What the fuck is it then? And he wants to make even harder, to die harder. God damn.
Should be able to. They should be able to engage with it from the normal mission.
I wasn't in the beginning of this game, but I wish I was to see how bad it was. I know people say it was really, really bad, but I would like to see with my own eyes how bad it was. I remember getting first release and ragers were silent. Yeah, LMO. Once someone get good enough at a game, their opinion on what's hard and somewhat invalid. Yeah, I would say it's kind of dead. Cause like you fucking swallowed Havoc 40, and you glitched multiple times yesterday when you were playing Havoc, and it was like, god dang, dude, holy shit. Maybe I'm just trash. It was empty, lacking a lot of key features, but was better in some ways. No, I see. Oh, shame I was not there to see. What a shame.
Mission board without having to go through this much rigmarole, or at least from the Havoc mission board. Like, make it easy.
Wait, what?
Right? Mission board without having to.
Hold on.
I know that Havoc 40 is really, really hard, but if people want to quick play into like lower Havocs, they should be able to. They should be able to engage with it from the normal mission board without having to go through this much rigmarole, or at least from the Havoc mission board. Like, make it easy, right?
Yes.
There's too many blocks and barriers to getting into Havoc. It's fine for me in pre-mades, and it's fine for like ego plays, but it's not great if you want to just like go get into it. It's a little too punishing for that in some areas, and I think the proposal I had at the beginning would probably fix some of that. What else? I think it's really necessary to get rid of the floor is lava mechanics. Having 5 gas men spawn and chuck grenades that prevent you from moving is terrible. It encourages the wrong kind of gameplay. I think if we're going to do the pox gas on the floor thing, we need to stop dividing the map into like easy squares that you're just not allowed to progress through. Like, it needs to wall off the edges of the map, not the center of the map, to prevent you from progressing, or the whole map to prevent you from progressing. Like, it needs to be segmented in such a way that you're being punished for you're being pressed in on, not necessarily being prevented from making progress, right? Because it prevents progress right now. You just stand around and wait, and then sometimes you have to push through it, and whatever. It's not fun. I think
Um, Because staff enable a little constant stream of flames with barely any charge, time, or power generation, and Power Sword could do 9 charges swing, but I remember Auric Maelstrom being almost impossible. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit. I like the parts of the balance on release. We have been part crapped so hard. He was talking about Toxgas. I remember back in the day when I saw the announcement of this Poxgas thing. It's not Toxgas, it's Pox. I really thought it was something like. Let me show here a quick example. I really thought it was like very dynamic, and like you could not predict where it's gonna happen. The Poxgas. That's what I thought it was going to be. But turns out you just have like this area cut off and you have to stay here for like, I don't know, 1 minute or less or something. So yeah, Toxgas is annoying.
Think the I think the blight spreads modifier, unfortunately causing so much corruption just by stepping in it and being kind of hard to hear and not that engaging. It's just not an engaging mechanic. There's a one-stop talent solution that solves the entire like mechanic. So you just take that and then you're like, why is Beacon of Purity so like useless otherwise and so good here? It's
Yeah, the same is true for shooters and gunners actually. You just take Bubble, Relic, Shout, in another relic, because that's the way it is, because it's annoying. It's just like the blight spreads is annoying. Traffic lights, the modifier. that would be crazy. The way it's implemented wasn't great. I beat Auric Maelstrom twice before patch 13, but after that, it was easy. Yeah, I can imagine that.
It's not a good mechanic, right? It doesn't satisfy any interesting gameplay consequences.
Yeah, so is the shooter changes, as I mentioned earlier. So, yeah.
It could be interesting if it did other things, like maybe it gave random buffs to enemies or something instead of making the floor lava. But when the floor is lava, then I can't move and I'm not having fun.
I will say again, so is the shooters. Because it's true, so is the shooters. I'm not having fun. I'm being forced to play a certain build with certain things to make it easier. So it's the same problem with the blight spreads.
Darktide is a hybrid combat game that involves movement as a core element of its design paradigm.
Hell yeah, it's a hybrid combat. Yeah, this is very true. But you know what's funny? It can happen that you have a full room of Reapers and Gunners everywhere. And if you don't have anything like Bubble, Relic, or Shout, or Taunt for Ogrins, you just gonna have so much fun standing there and try to kill all of those things with less ammo that you gain. So, yeah. When they first changed shooters, everyone complained, so they reversed, but buffed them again in Havoc, and nobody cared about it because Havoc. Yeah, I remember this when they changed their shooters. But everyone was like, "No, these fucking noobs," and hell yeah, go back to Harris, you motherfucker, or something. Dude, they reversed, and guess what? The changes are in Havoc, and guess what happened? People are using Relic, Bubble, and everything's to make easier, go toughness. So, yeah, if they did not revert the change back in the day, it would just encourage people to play this way. So, how could people not see this shit coming? Like, wow. And in just because people think it's bullshit, and you just go there and comment and yeah, go back to heresy, you noob. Wow, wow. I love getting called a Malise player in link in my channel. Perfect.
Being able to move is fun. That's why fast weapons are more fun than slow weapons to some degree, because fast weapons give you a lot of zippiness, and zippiness.
Yeah, because you need to dodge. Kinda, né? Yeah, just kinda, because you can get staggered by a fucking gun. So that's why you pick mobility weapons. And this game mode just make them even more powerful. So you have no, I would say you have no like. Dear God, I'm missing so many words today. Holy shit, dude. You have no reason to choose a lower mobility weapon, because the game is gonna punish you so hard with those shooters. So yeah, cool.
This is fun. Okay, it just is. What else? A couple other things I suppose that come to mind are, overall, I understand that this game is more fun for a lot of people when they have more flexibility.
Yes.
I totally get that, and Havoc does kind of limit the player a little bit. I think there's some of that that's going to kind of be, either it's going to take a long time to dial in, or it's just going to be necessary, right? There's only so much you can do to make everything good. However, I've also been proven wrong about some stuff, like, hey, the tac axe is actually pretty A tier, in my opinion, now that we've gotten those breakpoints. And we can thank a few players like Khan and Agatha and Little Mond for figuring that out and finding out what works, right? So
Sure.
There's more options than people are giving it credit for, much like in the early days of Auric. A lot of stuff is viable in Havoc that wasn't viable before, but it's also much harder difficulty, so just pubbing, if you're just pubbing, you're going to have a hard time with some gear. That's just the reality, okay?
Yes.
It's going to be tough. It is what it is. It's fine. It's going to be harder than doing the absolute metagear. I will say that the absolute metagear needs to be dialed down. There's a few weapons like the dueling sword that's just crazy. The knife probably needs some tweaks since it's pretty much right behind the dueling sword for goodness. And the only reason it's not is because the dueling sword is the dueling sword. Another option that we need to look at is a way to reduce the impact and effectiveness of over toughness. There's a lot of people who want to take an absolute laser torch to it, but I still am very fun focused with Darktide. A lot of people are very like maybe balance or numbers focused or challenge focused, but despite the fact that I am a Giga Sweatlord, as some people will call me and criticize me for, I actually am very fun oriented with this game. I want the weapons to be fun and thematic and engaging for the player base in general. So yellow toughness mechanics are actually really cool, and they need to be impactful, otherwise no one's going to want to do them. Like Chorus needs to give you a lot of value, or there's no reason to take it because you just stand there doing nothing for like a long time, right? Like realistically speaking, you're kind of just like doing an animation and shoving some enemies around. It's not doing a lot. You're not like really engaged at a deep mechanical level. So if you're going to have that, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, it's a power fantasy that you can fulfill. I think it's actually pretty fun and entertaining and very thematic. Then it needs to have some impact. But also, we need to dial back like how spammable they are at a minimum. I think cooldown reduction, the likes of which we've been starting to see flow out into some talent trees, is probably the right play. Just reducing the amount of uptime you have on these yellow toughness mechanics would make using them more hit or miss, right? And what I mean by hit or miss is like, okay, let's say there's a bunch of crushers in a patrol and they come after you. Do you use your yellow toughness now because you're not going to have it in a few minutes when, say, the plague ogre spawns and comes in with the second like monstrosity spawn? Like, you might need it then more than you need it for this crusher patrol, right? So having that trade-off be more present in your mind and making you a little bit more resistant to just spamming all the time to constantly have uptime, it would be a big impact on the overall utility of these abilities. At the very minimum, you would need more of them on more people in order to get that same kind of coverage. And one thing that's definitely true is these abilities do sacrifice a lot of safety, mobility. They sacrifice a lot of damage output that can be used to filter out all of the stuff that's threatening you. So it can be the case. I mean, voice of the command. Let's not talk about voice of command. Voice of command is its own monster. But at least Chorus is definitely not like absolutely perfect. It has local competition with FOTF for utility and value. It's just if you could spam it, then it doesn't really, right? At this level of difficulty where you're able to turn off entire groups of enemies, it's kind of the smite of the zealot, right?
I don't know what I should say, honestly. I'll say it again. Let's say none of you have relic, bubble, or shout, or bull rush, or taunt. Let's say you're in the clandestine Gloriana. In the rune, in one of those runes, you can get stuck. You get a horde, and you get a boss. What are you going to do with none of those things on your hand to actually try to get out of the situation? So the reason, I mean, the reason I don't think Fat Shark is gonna balance this game now, maybe not now, maybe in the future, but the reason I think they are not caring too much about that is because at their like enclosed doors, they know how bullshit this game is. They know how bad it is. That's what I think. They know how bad it is, so they will not do these stuff for now. Now, for when they're gonna do it, who the fuck knows? Like, if they ever gonna do it, honestly. But yeah, I don't know, man. Havoc is just trash. Cheap, 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 cheap. Very cheap. Like, I would be fine if, like, Reapers and Gunners shoot faster and have that capability of that shit. If they do. That is staggering you and you get knocked down instantly. Holy shit. But like the little guys, they're not important. They do as much damage as the fucking elite gunners do. Holy shit, dude. I don't think that's the play at all. I mean, I would be more comfortable if only Reapers and Gunners were affected in that, and for the love of fuck, reduce the amount of Gunners and Reapers on this fucking game mode. If you're gonna make that fucking bullshit, and that you can die instantly, at least reduce the amount of enemies, of ranged enemies in that way. Because, dear God, it's fucking horrible.
If we pull that down a little bit, and it's
Yeah, me dying in 6 shots to a regular shooter. Yeah, how fun! How fun! If you do not have bubble, fuck you, you're dead. If you do not have relic, you're dead. So, yeah. Anyway.
frequency, then I think we can still keep the mechanic really strong without having to completely gut it, and then you can have the mechanic be balanced against other mechanics. Now, voice of command, that's a whole other bag of worms. Voice of command is so strong, and his other talents on veteran right now are kind of in a weird spot. Executioner's stance still needs something, probably just a toughness pump, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And I think that we're missing out on something for like a toughness pump on button press specifically. And I think likewise the infiltrate is too overstuffed with random subnodes and probably could be combined to allow more points in the tree to be picked up without sacrificing ability value. I also think that ability probably needs a little bit of looking at. So
non-solid class will legitimately die easily without the overpowered abilities. A single hit from shotgun of Psyker will stun, and it will very likely shoot again before you can dodge. Yeah, this happened yesterday with Ballhole, and it happened to me yesterday. That's why I died so many times yesterday. So wow, fun, isn't it? Isn't it so fun? I mean, sure, if he's having fun, all right. I mean, sure, whatever, dude. But I'm not because it's bullshit. Full HP, two down in 2 seconds. Hell yeah, how fun.
I'm not sure what to do with that, but these are. I mean, you can beat Havoc with this. With it, we ran a game where we had a infiltrate shotgun zealot or infiltrate shotgun vet, and we won, and he was like top damage or something like that. So it's like it can be done. It's
Sure.
just it's not a matter of whether it can be done. It's a matter of whether or not it's fun to play and good, right? And
It's not because the fucking shooters are fucking horrible. So yeah, I'm sorry. I have nothing else to say. Okay. I have nothing else to say because that's Havoc in a nutshell. One single shooter and you're dead. What am I supposed to say? What is the gameplay intent with that? Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. What is the exact experience they want? I don't know, dude. We weren't hiding in the bubble hard enough. Sure. That's probably it. Holy shit.
the barrier for entry isn't literally being like one of the best players in the entire game. Yeah, and in Vermintide,
Wait, what?
right?
What? Go
Whether
back.
it can be done, it's a matter of whether or not it's fun to play and good, right? And the barrier for entry isn't literally being like one of the best players in the entire game. Yeah, and in Vermintide, right? Like Combine is insane. So like he ran it and he did really well, but like guy's nuts. Not everybody's nuts. You can't just base it on the top 1% on whether or not something top 0.1% on whether or not something's good or bad, right? You can't balance for that all the time. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to the players who are in the lower lobbies.
Yeah, you just said what I said earlier. So you're gonna make things harder because you think it's easy. You want them to make harder just because you have a group of friends and you all think it's easy. So fuck it, the rest of the player base. Oh god. Havoc pens for helping others. I've never been more bored in my life. I'm 48 of 50. Every game is infinite cleave, weapons, bubble, shout. Respect on getting through 48 of them. Half of the men was helping him get high Havoc quickly after release. I speedran the first like 30 levels. That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I helped. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to show here. Damn it. 78, and I still struggle to find fun in it. Because, as I said earlier, you're forced to play a certain build. Otherwise, you have a harder time. So, yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Right. I think I'll make a video about that at some point, by the way, in regards to balancing things for Marvel Rivals. I want to talk about this concept in AI, which is there's something called a local minima, which is if you've reached a certain plateau in capacity, you can have a meta or an optimization for that plateau without being able to descend to the next more optimized plateau. You might have an objective you're trying to achieve, but certain criteria aren't met, so that objective's more optimal choice is not visible or optimal, actually, and you can only do the slightly less technically optimal thing, but you can't get down any more optimization. I'm explaining it poorly, but in any case, a middle tier player is going to think different things are better than a higher tier player because the things they can do are different. And that's true in this game too. And so I consider that a lot when I'm talking about balance changes. I consider the different levels of players who are playing this game. That was a bit of a tangent. Well, you'll just have to tolerate it. I think there's one other thing that people really don't like with Havoc, and I super understand, which is I can't choose my modifiers, I can't choose my maps. This does not bother me, but I understand it bothers some people. I don't know if there's ever going to be a resolution to this because we've all been asking for a long time, and my suspicion is that it's server related, right? Like you imagine they're standing up a bunch of servers. They have to partition space for those on those servers for running things. They're probably being charged some sort of server space fee, so a certain maximum or minimum number of like server consumptions have to be understood to be spun up to handle the player base. If the player base isn't very big, then you can't do certain things. Like it's all those kinds of problems is my guess for what's going on. Like I'm not a server architect. I never have been.
My theory is just that Fat Shark is just lazy. That's how simple it can get. And that's my theory. I don't know what's true or not, but that's my theory. Imagine if Morty Try is actually good and has Mario Maker system for making and sharing trials. Copian. Not a chance from Fat Shark yet. No, not at all. I don't know how they're gonna sell people to play this fucking Morty Trials, because they said right now you just get it is like you get rewarded what is it called again? Information in some of the characters in the Morningstar. Why? I mean, sure, there's some nerds in there that really care about the lore about whole fucking Darktide Warhammer 40k thing, but why would high level skill players play that shit? We'll have ranks, is it? If you've I think it will be fun. Like if you fight 3 in a row, you have to fight 50 trappers back to back, non-stop. Imagine that. Goddamn.
But I know a little about these subjects, and that's the kind of stuff I hear.
I mean, Vermintide. Does Vermintide 2 have the map selection and modifier selection? I'm not sure though. If you guys can confirm that, does it have?
About in the gaming world about setting up servers and handling things. I've talked to game devs, right? I'm not just like some guy. I've talked to game devs. They talk about this stuff.
You guys are shooting the thing here. I don't know what it has, but like it has some fucking invisible wall here, and the only way is just like you go in the back or you just hit in from below. So you're just waiting ammo in there and throwing knives. That's funny. It's a little nitpick.
I know.
Yeah, modifiers are in Twitch mode, and you can kind of pick those sort of maps you have full choice over. Oh, really? Oh, so that's what Twitch mode means. Oh, I see. I see. Sorry, I did not play Vermintide enough times and enough hours to know exactly. But that's interesting. So, what is the difficulty implementing that on Darktide? I mean, sure, at least map selection. At least that. Let me show you how many hours I have. Games library. Vermintide. I have not even 10 hours, so I do not know. But you have this that let be kinda. I never played it. Okay, I'll take a look at that stuff later. Because if Vermintide has, well, that's interesting. Because why wouldn't Darktide have? So yeah. Anyway.
Game devs personally. And
oh
they
yeah,
will talk
wasting
about things
ammo.
like this. And
hell yeah.
while I don't fully understand the nuts and bolts of every
Look
single
at
system,
that,
I think I
wasting
can
ammo.
speak reasonably
There's
well
an
to the fact
invisible
that
wall
it's
there.
not so easy to just like if you're running the servers, you're.
That's funny. You can turn off player buffs and weekly mission modifiers. Also change the spawn rate of enemies on votes. How many and vote frequency. Twins mode would be such an easy win for Fetcher if they won't do it. Yeah.
Yourself, or it's all servers.
I think it's just they're lazy. That's pretty much what I have in mind. And they, unless they do something crazy in the next in this year for Darktide, they're like, holy shit, they're fucking working right now. Unless they do something like that, I'll continue on my fault that they're just lazy.
Side connections, like those servers cost money, you can only do so much. That could be the reason, right? And that's my guess.
Sure.
No one has ever confirmed this to me from Fat Shrek. I've literally never been told or talked to about this subject, so don't go wildly speculating just because I'm a playtester. I've literally never been told or talked to about this subject, so don't go wildly speculating from this. That could be the reason.
Let's go back,
right? And that's my guess. No one has ever confirmed this to me from Fat Shrek. I've literally never been told.
So he dodged, I guess. I don't know if I could not see if he dodged to the right or left, and he still got grabbed. Fun mode.
Told or talked to about this subject, so don't go wildly speculating just because I'm a playtester. Funny story, being a playtester doesn't make you privy to every piece of information on the internal operations of a business. Gee whiz. But that's safe enough to say, because obviously I'm just saying I don't know something, and I'm not trying to put words in Fat Shark's mouth is all I'm really saying, but I'm just guessing, right?
Oh yeah, dude, you gotta be very careful, otherwise they're gonna kick you out of the playtester. Watch out for that, dude.
Would be my guess. The same way I used to guess about this stuff with you guys in the past. I've said this before on the forums or whatever an age ago.
Chain X self stun, is it? No fucking way.
If it could be fixed, that's cool, but if it can't be fixed, it's no bother to me, because like all I want is like a selection of maps. And
yeah.
I guess let me get to the point here. Map selection isn't that important to me, because what matters is I want like the shitty maps to stop being shitty because they're not fun to play after a point. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Archive of Sycorax isn't fun not because it's not a neat map. It looks really cool and it's got good topography and it's fun to play like the first few times. It's that the enemies turn off after a point. So why am I here? You get to some sections of the map that there's just no conflict anymore. It's boring. Especially the finale. Like, my God, what a snooze most of the time, right?
True.
So that's the problem. There's a lot of maps like that where the game just stops working. So someone's got to fix that so that I can play on all the maps.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Agreed.
The other thing I will say about Havoc, speaking of map rotation, is I don't know what's going on with this map rotation thing. Why do we not have every map in the rotation? We have it already.
Yeah,
what could we pop?
I don't know what's their fixation of doing specific maps. Dear God, I'm so fucking tired of Refinery Delta and Chasm Logistratum. I'm so tired of these maps already, dude. And Dark Communion, holy shit! Can I play another map, dude? I don't get why. I don't know, dude.
Like, I know I talked about the server stuff, but like, bro, can I just have all the maps? Like, why do we got to rotate maps in and out? Like, we already have that in the work board. Why can't we have it here?
Yeah.
I just want, like, put them into the queue. Like, let's say there's 100 players who are playing at Havoc 40, and you need to run 100 server. You need to run that divided by 4 or whatever servers in order to make sure they all have space. Just hypothetically speaking. Like, I literally don't know. I'm just like guessing, right?
Okay.
There's only like 15 maps. So you could have one server for each map if that's how it works, and I don't know how it works. But if that's how it works, you'd have one server for each map, right? And then you could spool up another server, and you could farm that out to the first, however many players that is, and like you're good. Like if after that point you have to have capacity for all the players, so like I don't see the problem. Maybe I don't understand some technical thing. I mean, I sound like a dumbass to myself right now.
Nothing to say.
It seems to me there's no reason that every map couldn't be in the rotation with different modifiers. Also, where's Monstrous modifier? Sorry, last thought. Where's my Monstrous specialists? I need those. I can't believe I'm in Havoc and there's no Monstrous specialist. I
would say I'm glad it's not on Havoc. Just because of the shooters. I would just say that. Can you imagine if we had Monster Specialists, we have 2 Chaos Spawns and 1 Beast of Nurgle, and we have like 6 Reapers and a lot of Gunners. And if you don't have any of these tools he mentioned, like Relic Bubble, Taunt, Bow Rush, and Voice of Command, you'll most likely die. So I'm kinda glad that's not in game in the Havoc mode yet. I think they need to balance a few things about these fucking shooters because they're fucking ruthless, and then implement these kind of things. And like, I don't know, make things go crazy. Like you can make right now it's just like we can have a maximum of 4 modifiers, if I'm correct. I mean 3 actually, 3 modifiers. You can have like Ventilation Purge, plus Hardened Skin and other stuff. I'm not counting towards the, what is it called again? Emperor's Fading Line, because it seems that it's just a default thing. So I'm not counting towards that. So we have a total of 4 modifiers. Why can't you just increase that number to make like 6 or 8? That would be crazy. But then again, you have to revamp a few things in here in Havoc and stop those bullshit gunners, for the love of fuck. It's not fun. And if you introduce monsters to this, it will be tough. And guess what? People will abuse Relic again and go toughness. So nothing's going to change. So yeah. Let me read the chat here. I want barrels in Chasm Station Havoc now, dude. God damn. What are they waiting on? I thought that the next update would introduce all maps. Like what the fuck? Gets second weekend bond and push into a boss trigger with another bond and a plasma gun over Sword Captain or Gunner seat ambient. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what? This is fun, isn't it? Very fun. Hell yeah. I want monster specials with the monsters when the monsters are good. Yeah, this is the correct opinion. I would love, like, can they fucking add more bosses to this game already? Dear God, dude. All the time. Beast of Nurgle, Plague Ogre, which are easiest. I mean, Plague Ogre easy. Beast of Nurgle is just annoying. And Chaos Spawn is the hardest one just because of the server, which can roll back and he fucking grab is so inconsistent that you have no idea if you did right or not. Gonna be like the one time I was soloing Sekiro X3 Veg and had 5 bosses at the same time. Dude, this happened to me like last week. I was playing with my friends last week. Holy shit, we had at the very beginning we had like 5 bosses in a row. I was like, holy. Like, that's what you expect when you're playing a tree veg. Like, holy shit, that's nuts. That's hard. Because holy shit, you gotta kill all that amount of bosses? God damn. That requires some skills and map knowledge, I would say. Aside from Beast of Nurgle. But yeah. Spawngram is BS and inconsistent. Bone is Bone. Pogrin is easy and boring. Yes. Yes, that's why Chaos Spawn is I would say it's not easy, it's not hard. It's just like inconsistent, because even if you do everything right, you still get grabbed. So fuck you, I guess. Insane boss design, yeah, insane. Oh yeah, the captains. Jesus Christ, dude, the captains. Oh my God! Hold on. Cultist Captain. How fun is this gameplay, guys? How fun is this? Shield, and you gotta drop it to shield. Hell yeah! We're gonna say here, the fucking knockback. Hell yeah! This is so fun. Engaging gameplay, insane boss, hard boss. Oh yeah, now I can fucking do damage. Let's go. Hell yeah. They just killed myself in there. God damn. Dude, I would say this design is just like from the 90s of game design in terms of bosses. What the fuck, dude? Can you actually make it engaging? The only thing these bosses are hard is because it can happen that they do zero animation, but in reality they are doing something, but you cannot see. And let's say it's an overhead, and you're fucked. So that's the only thing that is hard about it. Lazy. Okay, I cannot accept that, man. Sorry. Anyway, there's some nitpicks about things that I think. I'm coping so hard because maybe they are waiting to change assassination missions and event before they add them to Havoc. I would say that might be possible, and I think that's the case. Spawns goes from easy with space to almost guaranteed loss if you get pushed into a place where the grab can't be avoided. Hell yeah, fun gameplay, engaging. Fighting kingdom captains by themselves in Havoc 40 is such a joke without timed hordes or any pressure. Yeah, it's just, I mean, just there. There's just like you know that meme? I think it's from I forgot the name of the show was. It's just something like random bullshit go. I feel like that's what Fat Shark did with this game mode. I think that's what they did. Fuck it. Throw a fucking captain there and I don't know. Just go. Just whatever, dude. Fuck it. Just become a chore. It takes so long. Pulling off spot dodge on a spawn grab is insane. Hell yeah. Anyway, let's finish this video.
Monster Specialist. I need the game to be harder. I need it to be worse. We should probably...
So you want to be worse or hard? With that you mean that... What do you mean worse? Like... I don't know what you mean, but... Sure.
Probably fix the Beast of Nurgle. He's really horrible.
Yeah. True.
And Bulwarks.
This... He said it! Oh my god, he actually said it. Fix Beast of Nurgles and Bulwarks. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He actually said it. Dude, this would be such a dream.
We should do something.
And also, let's not forget audio bugs. Okay, just in case you were forgetting that shit.
Bulwarks. Can we get like a... Can we just replace Bulwarks with like a Ogre and Berserker or something? You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like an Ogre and Berserker.
What?
And Bulwarks. We should do something with Bulwarks. Can we get like a... Can we just replace Bulwarks with like a Ogre and Berserker or something? You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like an Ogre and Berserker. And there's like... They come in packs of 2 or 3. No more. And they're really scary. And that'd be cool. Make Crushers hard to kill again. That's it. That's all I got, boys.
I mean, the only thing... Crush is not hard. It's not that hard to kill because we are fucking overpowered, I guess. So if someday the balance comes out and we're now actually every class is fucking balanced, then maybe it will make things a little bit harder without actually increasing the difficulty. Well, anyway.
And it is like 99.9% boys and like the one girl who watches my channel, so that's how it is. Okay, it's been a pleasure, everyone. I hope you didn't mind me rambling too much and thinking my thoughts about Havoc. I've been playing a lot of Havoc. I really like Havoc. I want to play Havoc more with people. On my streams, I do play Havoc with people a lot, quite frequently, just random people. We lose most of those games. I don't care. I really have a fun time. When we win, it's awesome. It's really exciting. People get clutches. We celebrate the clutches. It's cool. We're having a good time. So if you want to stop by my stream sometime and play,
sure.
I usually stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. U.S. Central to 5 p.m. Other than that, I guess I'll just say thanks so much for visiting. Have a wonderful day. Warm regards.
All right.
Reginald.
I would like to take a moment to express my genuine and significant gratitude to Bonehead for becoming...
We just had an ASMR at the end of the video. God damn. Well, I already said what I have to say about this video and my thoughts on Havoc. So, yeah. Let's go back to playing. And guess what? We're gonna play on Havoc because it ran out.